African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of November 10, 2025. In response to terrorist attacks by Ukraine on civilian objects on the territory of Russia, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered a group strike tonight with precision weapons, including hypersonic aeroballistic missiles Kinzhal, as well as strike unmanned aerial vehicles on military airfields, the Ukrainian Armed Forces Radio and Radio Technical Intelligence Center, a warehouse of rockets for the Olkha multiple launch rocket system, as well as assembly workshops and storage sites for long-range unmanned aerial vehicles. The strike objectives were achieved. All designated targets were hit. Units of the North Group of troops inflicted damage on formations of 4 mechanized brigades, an assault regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kyanitsa, Malaya Korchakovka, Novaya Sek, Pavlovka, and Proletarskoye in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on units of a motorized infantry brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the area of the settlement of Volchansk, Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 130 servicemen, 10 vehicles, 3 field artillery guns, including a US-made 155mm M777 howitzer. An electronic warfare station and 5 supply depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of troops improved their frontline position. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized, 2 assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Berezovka, Kurilovka in the Kharkiv region, and Yampol in the Donetsk People's Republic. In the settlement of Kupyansk, Kharkiv region, assault detachments of the 6th Army continue to destroy the encircled enemy group. 3 attacks by units of the 92nd Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 1st National Guard Brigade from the areas of the settlements of Blagodatovka and Petrovka, Kharkiv region, aimed at breaking the encirclement of Ukrainian Armed Forces formations, were repelled. Up to 50 servicemen, 2 M113 armored personnel carriers, 3 US-made HMMWV armored combat vehicles, 2 pickups, and 4 electronic warfare stations were destroyed in the past 24 hours. Units of the South Group of troops occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Damage was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, an airmobile brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the Azov Special Purpose Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Verolyubovka, Konstantinovka, Kramatorsk, Platinovka, Seversk, and Sloviansk in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 70 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 14 vehicles, and 4 field artillery guns, including a US-made 155mm self-propelled artillery system Paladin. An electronic warfare station, 6 ammunition, fuel, and supply depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of troops improved their tactical position. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, infantry, 2 ranger, assault, 2 airborne assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, 2 Marine brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and 3 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Artemovka, Belitskoye, Rosa Luxemburg, Rodinskoye in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Ivanovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. During the destruction of encircled Ukrainian Armed Forces formations in the area of the settlement of Krasnoarmeysk, Donetsk People's Republic, units of the 1435th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 2nd Army liberated the settlement of Natovka from Ukrainian militants. Units of the East Troop Group continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. The settlements of Novo and Slatko in Zaporizhzhia region were liberated. Damage inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, assault brigades, and an assault regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the areas of the settlements of Alexandrovka, Danilovka, Orestopol, Pokrovsk and Dnipropetrovsk region, and Dobropilya in Zaporizhzhia region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost over 235 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 14 cars, and 4 field artillery guns. Units of the Dnieper troop group improved their tactical position. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of mechanized, mountain assault brigades, 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Lukyanovskoye, Orkhov in Zaporizhzhia region, Ivanivka and Nikolskoye in Kherson region. Up to 70 servicemen, 8 cars, a US-made and /TPQ-36 counter-battery radar station, 3 electronic warfare stations, an ammunition depot, and 2 supply depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the armed forces of the Russian Federation's troop groups inflicted damage on temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 136 locations. Air defense means shot down 6 US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system rockets and 124 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles by the forces and means of the Black Sea Fleet, 4 unmanned boats of the Ukrainian armed forces were destroyed in the northeastern part of the Black Sea. Since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 95,925 unmanned aerial vehicles, 635 anti-aircraft missile systems, 25,939 tanks and other combat armored vehicles, 1,611 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 31,224 field artillery and mortars, 46,305 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.